Hi everyone, it's Lisa Pinhorn here from Feeding Futures, and I'm here today to share with you something that I feel like everybody needs to know about, which is a brand new book that I'm reading, just finishing it actually. And anyway, Lori and I have been really not very great at doing videos this summer. We're very having a kind of a summer where we're just reading a lot and doing a lot of online learning and stuff, and just sort of distracted from what we normally would be doing. But I started reading this book, which I knew I was going to read. It was on my list of books to read. And it's just too good not to share with people. And I really think that if you touch the lives of children, whether you're a parent or a professional or a person who makes decisions at government levels, I think that it's an absolute must read. So here's the book. It's called Self Reg, for short for self-regulation. There's a lot of glare in this room, so it's hard to see. Anyway, this book has been sort of on my radar for a little while because the author, and his name is Stewart Shanker, is a Canadian, and I caught some work that he did on a audio documentary for CBC Radio a couple years ago, and it's very progressive work, and progressive in a way just because it's sort of counterintuitive to how we talk about helping teach children who are emotionally dysregulated new skills, because old school antiquated ways of trying to deal with children's behavior is a lot of things that look like timeout, punishment, taking away privileges and those kinds of things, and being very sort of what's wrong with these children, and we're going to punish and take away the stuff that everybody loves to do, and that's going to make their behavior better. Anyway, years and years of research have told us that that doesn't work. Anyway, Stewart, dun, 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 he's Canadian, and he's a world leader in this stuff. And what he does in this book is really help us reframe behavior. And what he talks about is there's misbehavior, which we think children have, and there's actually stress behavior, and that it's our job as the adults around the lives of children to understand how stress behavior happens, what are its biological sources, because stress is around us and it's everywhere, and children are inundated with stress every day. And there's no place more stressful on the planet than the school setting. So if you're a teacher or a guidance counselor or a principal or a school administrator, you have to read this book. No child is a bad child. No child comes to school every day and wants to be so anxious and so stressed that they can't have social relationships with the people around them. This book does a really good job of the biology and explaining sections of your brain and sections of your body and your biology and your hormonal system that helps to try to keep you regulated on an even keel, and what happens when certain children are triggered into this over arousal state many times a day, which is when you see children with chronic stress. We know our ACEs research, which we could do another whole video on that. These are the kids who will get chronic illnesses, that they will not live as long as their peers. They will have lots of mental health issues, lots of physical issues, so it's our job as the people who are living in the lives of these children to understand what we can do to help. Now, the glorious part about this thing in this book is that Stewart tells us that it's never too early to start and it's never too late to start. So even if you're living in a house with a very complex situation, say you're living with, I don't know, 14, 15, 16-year-old ADHD child with a late diagnosis who is not a good eater, sleeper, seems to be very oppositional, very defiant, those kinds of things. This book really helps us reframe that behavior and be way more empathetic, because we say this all the time. You wouldn't discipline an insulin reaction in a diabetic. You would say, let me help you physically. And the movement in this world is to do that and to come at challenging behaviors, to understand the biological sources of it, to try to get in front of things and make them preventative in our approach. So I cannot begin to tell you how much I love this book. Here it is. You can get it at Chapters. You can order it online. Everybody you gotta read this book. Now, I'm excited about this book for all kinds of reasons. It's very friendly to a person who doesn't understand a lot of the psychobabble. It's very friendly to people who don't, you don't have to have a degree in biology to understand it either. It explains the sections of the brain really easily for people. And it also, I guess that's one of those things for me where it's just really reaffirming of the work that we do at Feeding Futures, because well, I'm not, really learning a whole pile of new things from the book. It's really nice when you see something that the rest of the world is all really jazzed up about, when it's sort of the philosophies of how you do your own work anyway. So go pick up this book. You are going to love it. It's going to change your relationship with your child. If you are a professional working with children, it will change how you do your work. I will guarantee it. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a wonderful summer. And anyway, we're just going to read books all summer, I guess, myself and Lori. Anyway, drop us a line if you want to know more about this book, and we'll talk to you about it. And hopefully you can change the lives of the people around you. Okay, bye bye.